Like 500 stones. Like 500 stones. Episode 10. And when I bored, and I guess today's little Zack for. Oh, you got a friend in me. Oh, you got a friend.
Got a friend in me.
There we go.
Brooklyn, I think you've outdone yourself. Great job.
Hey, thank you. I always try to raise the bar every time and just go for crazier and crazier voices.
I can't wait to see what next week is then. But as Brooklyn said,
wait.
oh my God, I will pay you money. But with that being said, this is episode 10. We are pretty much halfway through after this episode. And as you said, we have a great guest today. We have Mr. Zack Ford.
Oh, did not realize my hair looked like this. Okay, now I'm good.
Here, what if I help you?
Thanks for the Toy Story themed opening just for me, and an ode to one of our best, Randy Newman. You should go more for the Randy Newman voice next time.
Yeah,
fully for it.
The 1,200 stones.
Left foot, right foot.
Treat our legends with the most respect, please.
Exactly. But Zack, how you doing today? Have you ever looked at this list beforehand? I know Brooklyn has because he's a Canadian cheat.
I definitely looked at the list when it came out. Not with like the utmost attention. Maybe ran through it in like a minute and a half, just next, looking for like artists I like. Yeah, and today I did a little bit of comparative to the last list with some songs
did you?
as well. So just see where things went up and down. So I am interested, but it's also
go ahead.
My taste can be a little bit out of the mainstream, so a lot of what I really love never has a chance. But
same here. I'm never going to see a Jason Isbell song on the Origin Aiko song on this list. So
we are talking about one of my at least top 20 songs of all time today.
Ooh. Well, Brooklyn claims to know one of these songs will probably be in my top 100, possibly top 50 songs of all time. And at the end of the episode, he has written what his answer is.
It is in this phone. It's scribbled somewhere in a notepad.
Mm-hmm. We'll find out if he's right or not. But with that being said, let's start this list. We ended last time with the Buzzcocks. Ever fallen in love with someone you shouldn't have? Zack, do you know anything about this song?
Yeah, I love the song. It's a great, just speedy, punk rebel rouser, fun song.
Absolutely. I actually listened to it again today. But with that being said, we're going to start with Randy Newman at 275, Sail Away. So this song is very different. I'll say that. Because lyrically, it's about a guy trying to encourage people to get on his boat to sail away to America and then be sold into slavery.
It's a slave recruiter.
Yeah, he's a slave recruiter. But it's done with like just the perfect amount of like parody and satire to it. That it's weird because people like Ray Charles have covered this. It was Ray Charles and it was someone else. Bobby Darin and
one. Yeah, that misses the point.
That's the thing. I think a lot of people would miss the point listening to this song on first watch because he's talking about all these America things and how great America is with these like French horns and like soft piano. It is really beautiful to listen to, but I can totally see it going over a lot of people's heads. Brooklyn.
Hi, I am one of those people that went over their heads. I know we were talking last week how this list is very Americana, and then this one just kind of like smacks you in the face with this. Because I initially heard the line like it's great to be an American, and I'm like, oh, okay. So we're getting to this section, but now like when you guys are talking about kind of like the satire and like the very like low key kind of parody. I'll have to try and see like where even he himself kind of like finds the humor, because I find that's often the selling point in those kind of songs. But yeah, a very weird.
Zack?
I gave everything away at the beginning of the show that Randy Newman is a legend and one of my favorites. Like honestly, one of the best songwriters ever happened. And this is one of my favorite songs of all time. And I do think because it tricks you in with it's just a lovely, lovely melody. And I think if you're not paying attention to the verses, you can think it's a love song of just like going about. But when you take it really like deeply, and it could be broader than just thinking of like a slave recruiter and about the slave trade, but also just kind of the falseness of the American dream and how everyone is kind of lured over here. Kind of with false promises. So it could be definitely handled a little broader if you read into it. But it's just like, if you just really take the aesthetics of it, I just find it pretty perfect. I had other thoughts I forgot, but this is my favorite Randy Newman song, and therefore one of his best. It's also his best album. Everyone should just listen to the whole album. It's perfect. They talk about Cleveland.
Brooklyn, I'm learning that we're really good at picking our guests. Hats off to us. By the way, I have the old Kelly Meehan made me think about this. I have the last updated version of the list, which is the 2010 version of the list, pulled up, and this song originally last time was at 268, so
barely budged.
But you know what? I'm okay with that because I like it right here. But moving on.
Fast with satire and parodies. Everyone people got so mad about the song "Short People" because they're like not understanding the song the person they're listening to. So you gotta take everything with a grain of salt. If you don't, here's my thought: if you don't know what the song is about, it's like the most racist thing there is. They talk about monkeys in a monkey tree and watermelon and buckwheat cakes. So you have to understand something's going on in this song. You can't take it too literal.
Absolutely. Hopefully Short People appears on the list later. Moving on to 274, we have Love and Happiness by Al Green.
Love and Happiness.
Brooklyn, how about you start?
I love the bounce in this. This is I've preached a lot about rhythm sections, but man, this does it in such a cool way. I love the bass and just how tight it is, but then you have that electric organ kind of setting on top of it, and it's very nice light and bouncy, and it's just like a fun kind of like strut into that chorus. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to say about it.
Zack.
Yeah, I'm a big lover of soul and everything that came from it. I have a lot of I think there's a lot of brother sister songs on this list, that songs that could be compared together. So there's another one I think this could be compared to, that this is like my sexy soul song of choice. I just think it's just so sly with how he hits the notes, and it can have a quiet build of the that just sinks deep into my soul. Makes me feel all the good feels, is what we'll call it. The good feels.
Yeah, the Reverend Green kills it on this track. This song is amazing. It's just, honestly and lyrically, it's not even that dense, but Al Green has just so much soul in his voice. And the one thing I really love most about this song is the production. As Brooklyn, you brought up the electric organ, it's perfect. But the thing that is really beautiful sounding on this are those drums. The crispness of the hi-hat in this is just incredible. It sounds amazing. And this song, looking on it, was last time number 98. This took a tumble. Yeah. And I don't know why.
Is it Let's Stay Together up higher or something?
I'm hoping so. I didn't look at the list beforehand. This is all a surprise to me. So moving on, we're going to go to number 273, which is the correct version of this song Rue.
No, it's not.
Killing Me Softly with his song by Roberta Flack. I'll start because this is my favorite version of this song. I think this is the best version of this song, even though this version of the song is also a remake, technically. Roberta Flack just has this beautiful, angelic softness to her voice, and this piece it's so luscious and gorgeous to listen to. Oddly enough, the song's about Don McLean, the guy who made American Pie. Not the person I would have thought of with these lyrics. But Zach, what do you think about this song?
So it is so like disarming that you just expect the beat to drop. I'm waiting for that boom, 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 and then it doesn't hit. Like, oh, this is the one we're listening to. But it is, and I think because you're so used to it in that format, like our generation is, that the gentleness of this song can kind of catch you off guard. That it is just so calming. It's very loungy, relaxing. And then you can call it boring, but if you just wait for that chorus and how dramatic and glorious she sings the chorus is really perfect.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, I think they got this one wrong. The Fugees one is.
The Fugees got this one wrong. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right.
No, the Fugees got this right. I do like you guys mentioned the softness, but it also does a really good job with kind of pacing and going back and forth, because they definitely slow down in the verses, but then they kind of just naturally pick up in the chorus with the with the drum and the bass. And I think it's kind of cool in that sense, but yeah.
Absolutely. With that, we're going to move on to number 272, and I'm still right about that song. The Boys Are Back in Town by Thin Lizzy. Oh, by the way, I looked it up. Killing Me Softly last year, 369. Nice. But Thin Lizzy, the Boys Are Back in Town. Zach, you're one of the boys.
I'm one of the boys because Thin Lizzy fucking rules. I love Thin Lizzy so much. And I feel like I dismissed him so much in my life for being kind of cheesy, because this chorus can be taken as that, but they own the cheesiness of the lyrics. But it also just has a guitar song. It's one of the best guitar songs there are. It's not very show-offy. It's kind of still melody over technique in a way that works for me really well. But just is a great riff. And just shouting "The Boys Are Back in Town" makes me want to go conquer the streets. Everyone listen to more Thin Lizzy. A lot of the albums, really great.
Yeah, I love Thin Lizzy as well. I'm actually hoping that Jailbreak ends up somewhere higher on this list. But yeah, this is what's that?
I like this one better.
I mean, I understand. As you said, the melody is just perfect, and it has that live electric energy to it that pumps you up. And I just love the way that it's delivered. I don't know what it is about the verses and the way that he sings through the verses.
It's a little,
but there's just
and it's talk singing.
Yeah, there's an ease to it, but it's still super tight. Yeah, this song rules. Brooklyn, as I look up
this. So if you remember, whenever Kiss came up with Rock and Roll All Night, I alluded to they have a cooler cousin band. This is Thin Lizzy is the band that Kiss dreams to be.
Yeah,
is really a fucking awesome song. I think what makes the guitar work so well in the verses is because especially it leads really into jazz funk. There's a lot of sevenths and ninths, and that's what's kind of connecting everything together and whatnot. Also, the way that this song ends is awesome because it's just layered upon layered, but it's just that one riff, and you just you want to headbang to it because it starts off with the main line, and then it's an octave, then they add in harmony, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and I just want it every time.
Yeah, I think that's such a great comparison between them and Kiss. Oh, I've never thought about that before. I love that because you're absolutely right.
I can't deal with that.
What was that?
I can't deal with that. Don't compare Thin Lizzy to Kiss. Ugh.
All right. Well, coming up next is 271. Procol Harum's a whiter shade of pale. Try saying that 6 times fast. Let's start with Brooklyn on this one.
This one's really cool. For this one, I attached a lot to it for for the same reasons that I like the band and like Van Morrison and like very like 60s pop. The melody in this is really cool, and the keys, the drums are like really loose, and I think that kind of works for like the buildup of the chorus, and you have that big like again electric organ come in. But yeah, it's just kind of everything that I like about it, and like even you could see in the album cover and whatnot. But yeah, it's not. I think that might be also one of the downsides to it is that I couldn't really point this out as like a Procol Harum song, but I also don't really listen to a ton of them.
Zach.
Procol Harum, worst band name ever. Just let's respectively just change it. I like the song.
What would you change it to, Zach?
I don't know. I think ISIS is still the worst band name.
It's better. Whole Call Harum. There we go. So this is one of those songs I feel like I just like has lived in my head, but I never like fully could tell you what it was. But like I was binging a lot of 60s music like last year, making top 100 songs, and listen, so I'm like, of course I know what this is. I could never identify it by title, but that organ is so identifiable, and just like sinks in your soul. And in some way it kind of harms the song. I like the organ a lot, so I don't want to diss it, but it overshadows like the vocal melodies just can't like live up to it. It gets a little overwhelmed by that. But it's an immediate like slow dancing song. Like as soon as it plays, it puts me in like the mood, just like grab someone and think deeply about life while I slow dance.
Well, I really like this song a ton. So that organ piece is a Bach interlude.
Yeah.
And Zach, a little fourth wall break. You sent us a scene from what was the movie? The Commitments. I was about to say The Replacements.
Yeah.
And just like the way it sounds on that organ made me realize how much of like a gospel-y heavenliness that it actually really provides, and I love it. Just the lyrics set this. I don't think that they really mean a whole lot, but it sets this weird, beautiful storytelling mood that is just such an experience to listen to. I freaking love this song. But you're right. The band name, we have to retroactively change that.
One more quick thought, because this kind of plays off the Commitment scene, like makes fun of the lyrics, but I'm like, my favorite lyrics are things that I can't really make sense of, that they either like just sound really good aesthetically as word choices, or like as single lines I really like, which is, we'll talk about Pavement in the future, but he's like my favorite lyricist for that some reason, because together I can't make sense of it, but single lines just are so remarkable to me. And just like aesthetically, the words like a light fandango is just like perfect. It's just a fun phrase, and it's great.
Turning cartwheels across the floor. Oh my god, you're right.
Doesn't make any sense, but they're great. Yeah.
All right. So with that, we are going to move on to number 270, Closer by 9 Inch
You like an animal.
I was feel you from the inside.
I was wondering which one of us was gonna mention the given line. So Zach, you're the winner. How about you start us off?
Yeah, I'm not like a huge Nine Inch Nails fan. Industrial could be a little too abrasive for me at times. A lot of the clinging the sounds. It's amazing that he's became like one of our best composers, and like you can't even tell signs of the Nine Inch Nails sound that he came to be known for. I still like enjoy it. This time listening to it, I just noticed so much more of a funk element. Just in part of the rhythm to it, the groove to it. It's like the closest Nine Inch Nails will get to making a funk song that I started to appreciate a little more.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, Zack kind of alluded to it, like the funkiness of the bass and the wah pedal, and like the the attention to detail and harmony and how often it's used. Like it's only really used in help me, like the help me part of the pre-chorus. I'm seeing something in the written part that needs to be brought up. Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee famously said of Closer, "That's the all-time fuck song." Just want, that is a fact that is on the internet somewhere. And I know I've brought it up before, but I need to bring it up now. Weird Al has a really good version of this in one of his polka parodies.
I thought you were about to talk about the song "Germs."
No. No.
Which also banger song. This song's great. I don't know if I would necessarily call it one of the all-time great. We're so gonna lose any chance of us making money off of this episode.
We had a chance.
You make money off of shows?
Man, I don't like if the unofficial Lucas and Zack podcast didn't make money, like I don't think we made money.
Well, I said fuck like 30 times an episode, so
now we've definitely lost any chance. But I don't know if I would call this one of the greatest like fucking songs, but
it tells you a lot about the type of fucker you are. If you say
Look, my fuckery skills are at minimum a B-. But I do love the construction of this song. Like Brooklyn brought up the "Help Me" and the pre-chorus. Just the placement of that in the mix, it's just really interesting and dynamic. And just the way that Trent Reznor throws himself into some of these lines, but on the other lines, he's like really restrained. It's just something about the way that this song is structured and composed and mixed that's just fascinating. And the build towards the end, it's got that chugging motion that you can literally hear in the instrumentation, and it just builds and builds and builds and builds. This song is fantastic.
We need more Millipedes on covers. That's great Millipede.
That's an A+ millipede right there.
A+ millipede.
I'm surprised when you were saying when you were talking about like if this is in terms of my fuck skills, I'm at a D+. I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
I let you go with it. I didn't mean that as a personal attack. I meant if you say that's your favorite fuck song, it tells a lot about the type of love maker you are. It tells a lot about what's his face. Tommy Lee Jones. Jesus Christ. What is Tommy Lee Jones's favorite fuck song?
Look,
let's move on.
Tommy Lee Jones is an interesting character. If you watch Pam and Tommy Lee, the Hulu show, you know.
No, I assume Tommy Lee Jones makes love to Moon River.
So shockingly to no one, this song was not on the previous top 500 list. Neither was The Boys Are Back in Town, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Whiter Shade of Pale was 57 last time. Wow.
Yeah, that's often put as one of the best. This seems low for it to stay.
Yeah. But we're moving on to number 269. Nice. Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers. Brooklyn, how about you start us off with this one?
If people were like, I like the first 15 seconds of this and that's it, you're probably in the majority majority of opinion, I guess. Like listening to this song from start to finish and like not having it in the context of like TV or movies and where it's often used, it does actually work really well. The production is cool. One of the things that I noticed initially is that it really takes a dip in the middle, where like they just take out a lot of the sound for that kind of build off. The build up works, but you're kind of like partway through. You like, I don't blame you if you want to change the song. Has it gotten overused a touch? But I mean, with any song, just give it a break, and then you'll be reacquainted with it in a whole new way.
Brooklyn, I don't know what to do with you sometimes. I love this song. I love this song so much. Just so everyone kind of thinks of I can't remember the other Righteous Brothers name, but Bobby Hatfield is not the one that I think most people think of when Bill Medley is the one that most people think of when they think of the Righteous Brothers. But Bobby Hatfield, his falsetto, which is almost like a colocatura, at least for someone his age, is just so beautiful. And with these incredibly beautiful poetic lyrics like Lonely Rivers Sigh, Wait for Me, Wait for Me. I think this is one of the most beautiful songs ever written. And it's just this gorgeous cloud dream-like instrumentation and production. Brooklyn, I love you, but sometimes I think that you're insane. Also, fun fact.
Sometimes I am insane.
Fun fact. This, I believe, is on record as being the favorite song of one Simon Cowell, which, knowing Psycho Productions, makes me really question his business plan. But Zach,
it's a really misleading title. The melody is pretty changed. Like it stays pretty on point. It's not chaotic or loose enough to be called Unchained. Get yourself together, Righteous Brothers.
You know what? You're right. I take it back.
It's Chained Melody. Put it in the record books. I like appreciate enough. Your first statement was kind of crazy. Like people only appreciate the first 30 seconds when like the like build up of the song and when he hits the big notes at the end. It really does like the greatest parts of the song. I do think that like context kind of ruins this for me a little bit. Like if this was 1955, I'd be like, yeah, great song for the 50s. I'm all about. But 1965, when you have like rock and roll and soul are really on the rise, this is just like the lamest shit that you could have been listening to in 1965. These are like the 6-year-old parents dooming rise of rock and roll, or like I love the Righteous Brothers. So there's the cheesiness to it that I can't fully abide by. But
I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was a 50s song. I thought this was
you're right there, my friend. Exactly. Look, that's the point. It's like music past its era.
Look, I have no control over this. I'm not Mr. Producer Man in the back. We'll tell you who Mr. Producer Man is later. But moving on to number 268, we have Shouts, Parts 1 and 2 by the Isley Brothers. Zach.
A lot of when I'm doing like reading these lists and listening to these like kind of classic songs, you can call it, there's a real battle of like, can I even judge some of these songs fairly? Like, do I like it? Do I not like it? Like, I don't know, because they just like have lived in us for so long. They just became part of like our cultural existence, that they like are bigger than music. That's the most pretentious thing I can think of. But like, it's a concept bigger than music. That's just like Shout is like wedding songs. And like, I can't view it like objectively outside of that. There's one that I think is deeply, we'll talk about later, that is deeply affected to where I like maybe can't appreciate enough. But this one, now that I have like a little bit of distance from weddings and stuff, I just like, it kind of rules. And like, I listen to this kitchen while cooking lunch for my kid, and I just like have a grand time. This is my kind of pump up music. We'll talk about like metal and stuff later and how that gets people ready to like work out, but I need like Shout. That's what gets my adrenaline rushing.
Yeah, this song is the greatest party song ever made. Like, you throw this on at any party. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're at a wedding, a retirement party, I don't know, college rager. You throw this song on and the entire room explodes. Like, the dynamics in this song are outrageous. Like, the whole moment where they go a little bit softer now, a little bit softer now, and it literally starts to get to like a whisper. And then they build it up, and it build it up, and build it up, and build it up, and it just kind of friggin' explodes into this unchained like energy. It's one of the greatest things I've ever heard in my life, and it will bring any situation to life, everyone knows this song. I can't think of a single person who hates this song. Brooklyn, please don't be that one person.
Oh no, I don't. I fucking love this song. I've in the last couple of years, I've tried to figure out like older songs that you could like show to kids and like kind of like have a positive influence. And this would be one.
Closer by 9 Inch Nails. I play for Theo.
All right, everybody, sing along. I wanna fuck you like an
All right, everyone, sing along. I wanna fuck you like an animal.
But like whenever I hear this song, I initially think of like that first like 10 seconds of like everybody just kind of looking around like, oh shit, shouts on. And then as soon as the drums comes in, everybody just starts like losing their mind. But yeah, this is really cool. Not a lot, obviously, with lyrics and whatnot. But Corey and I were actually having a really good conversation about it, and in the 50s and 60s and whatnot, and like how songs were crafted. There wasn't there obviously was like vinyl records and whatnot, but back then it was we need to create songs to get people to our shows and have a really good time so that they'll keep coming back. And I think this is just a really good example of how music was done then.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think we also don't need to read into lyrics of soul songs too much because it's just not the point of soul music. Soul music, the depth is within the like emotion and the performance of it all, not in the lyrics. They're telling you so much just by how they're singing, not by what they're singing. By the way, Bar, this song, 1959, so this is 50s, 6 years before Unchained Melody, and you're trying to tell me next to this that Unchained Melody is any sense of cool? This is like, get that label.
No, I can't. I can't rightfully say that. Shout. If you ask me which of the two songs is better, I have to pick Shout. I really
Thanks for folding under pressure.
I am like a house of cards.
I pick Sail Away. You knew.
So, fun fact now that you bring that up, Zach, one of these songs has actually risen from the original list, and one of these songs has dipped significantly. Last year, one of these songs was 374, and the other one was 119. And 119
melody was higher.
119 was Shout.
Oh. Yeah, because we're in COVID times and we don't have weddings anymore, so everyone forgot that the song is great.
Great point. I don't think I could argue it any better. Moving on to number 267.
I still argue that the greatest wedding song is the Cha Cha Slide. I will die on that hill.
Take it back now, Brooklyn. So your next number 267 is Take Care by Drake featuring Rihanna. And I'm going to have to go first on this one because it's not just featuring Drake and Rihanna. It's also featuring Jamie XX and Gil Scott-Heron and Bobby Blue Bland and Brock Benton. Because this song is built on multiple samples of multiple samples. So the Rihanna part is actually an interpolation. It's actually just basically lifted from a song called I'll Take Care of You, written by Brooke Benton, covered by Bobby Blue Bland. And then Gil Scott-Heron did a version of that song in the 70s. And then producer Jamie XX did his own remix of that. And Drake basically went, I like that. I'm going to take that idea and then put it into my song.
Remakes. That's what the one Avicii song did too, is it sampled a sample.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Jamie XX is one of the best producers working today. So I think the song sounds incredible. Sonically, the song sounds incredible. And honestly, I also think it's one of Drake's best. I'm happy with it being on the list. It's maybe a little high. But if we're going to have a Drake song, this is the one I pick, even though it's him still concerned trolling. But it's his best version of doing that. And Rihanna on this song sounds incredible. Like, her voice is what makes this thing work. Zach.
I have no feelings for Drake. I find him incredibly boring. I guess I this time listening and trying to put like more thought behind it and attention for the show. I like found things to appreciate. I do like the piano a lot. That helps really create a little bit of momentum for the song. But like when Drake gets on the mic, I find it so extremely dull in his delivery and the thing that sure I'm glad people appreciate him, but it's not my stuff.
And Brooklyn.
Nope. As a Canadian, Drake peaked at Hotline Bling, and yeah. So we already got Hotline Bling, and yeah, this doesn't need to be on this list at all.
That's the song that you think he peaked at. Oh, that's amazing. I love that. Actually, Brooklyn, I love you. But listen to the Gil Scott Heron version of the like that they sample.
Hey, we talk about Gil Scott Heron another time in the show.
Oh, I hope so. I love him. But number 266. Go ahead.
I'm big spoiler on this list today. Just how it is.
Son of a bitch, Zach.
Yeah. Hey, just want to come prepared.
Look, I come in swinging for the fences.
You both send me the playlist.
What? No, I've never done that, Zach. I have no idea what's happening on this list. I don't know what's coming up.
You need to come prepared so you know you listen to everything.
I'm telling you, Andrew. Once you Canadian cheat, it becomes so much easier. You don't feel as guilty. You can still have a reaction.
I'm sorry if I got anyone in trouble. I was not sworn to a secrecy policy.
God damn it! Where's my Bible?
Controversy behind what happened to the list, but it's like we didn't pre-listen. I'd be like, "Yeah, what's this song?" I can't fully remember who King Tubby is, but like I do recognize the song now.
You show respect to King Tubby.
That's as dumb as
everyone knows who.
Your list sucks. You can't share a list before Rule 2, which was also a dumb rule.
Yeah. But number 266 is King Tubby Meets the Rockers Uptown by Augustus Pablo. This is I'm gonna let Zach go first.
Yeah. I maybe in the past year we had Small Axe as the best pop culture item we could have had during quarantine of 5 Steve McQueen movies, and there's just a lot of reggae and especially a lot of dub throughout his movies. It really grew appreciation for that style of music, and I don't think the song is in the movie Lovers Rock, but it's so similar in a way that I had like a context for how the song can like move a group of people, and it's just like it's all vibes, and you really just gotta get yourself lost into the reggae, the kind of darker edge of reggae grooves that it is.
Brooklyn.
So, you guys know me, and you guys know the things that I take in and participate in. And knowing the context of those things, this one doesn't quite do it for me. I need to be deep into the shed to appreciate this, and like even listening to it now and like over the past couple weeks, it's just like it's too weird amongst the mix of everything. This is very much a vibe. You have to be in the right place.
Oh, this is absolutely a vibe piece, but I am vibing with it, baby. I friggin' love this piece. Like, I love just the way that they play with the echo effect and the way that the, I don't know what instrument that is exactly, but whatever that percussion is that comes in every once in a while, it is so perfect. Yeah, it's a vibe song, but like, it's so unique in its own thing that I just love the artistry of it.
So we're gonna take another quick pause, since I put Brooklyn in front of a moving car. Gar absolutely shared the fucking playlist with me. It's on my messages, and I can take a picture and screenshot to both of you later. But you shared a playlist of the 25 songs you both did.
I got hacked. Moving on real quickly. Smoke Bomb to 265. Left of the dial.
What?
But Left of the Dial by the Replacements. I'll start with this one. This is Left of the Dial, like college rock, 80s alternative to a T. like this is exactly what I think of when I think of that like alternative rock era of the 80s that like REM kind of spawned out of. I like this song. I like this song. I, I don't love it though. I wish there was just a little bit more crunch in the guitar. Like, and I like jangly guitar stuff, but like something's just not clicking with me in this one. And it could even be the vocals. I think the vocals are a little bit too far back in the mix compared to everything else. That it's just something's not working for me. I appreciate the song, and I know the Replacements have a big cult following, but this one for me, I appreciate more than I necessarily like. Brooklyn. Oh,
You didn't
okay.
say a name.
Oh, I said Brooklyn. Yeah.
No. Oh, you cut out there.
No, my bad.
No. This one has influenced a lot of East Coast rock. Very like the guitar sound, like just the amount of reverb and like kind of the melodies that they're going for. And it's more so, and like you kind of mentioned, like I kind of agree with you, Andrew. And like in the 80s in particular, a lot of it was what effect can we add to this instrument to kind of make it stand out. It was good at the time, but it unfortunately hasn't aged as well. This style is still, yeah, like I said, this style is still remnant, but it's kind of been perfected.
Zach.
No, this song kind of rules. I have listened to Bastards of Young a lot in my life, and I love the song Bastards of Young, and then some reason never dug deeper to the Replacements. This is actually the first time I heard it to prepare for the show. And it's great. I really need to listen more. There's just like they're so important in making like punk rock accessible. Like you have like the Sex Pistols, which is very like unaccessible punk in a lot of ways, and this is like how can we like put punk more into the rock mainstream, even though they were never quite mainstream, but they at least like built the bridge on building more melodies or like guitars that can fill up a stadium. It's like very anthemic guitars. Right, Bastards Are Young especially is an anthemic song. More than this,
so they're not mainstream. Would you call them left of the dial?
Perfect. You rubbed your beard for a long time. I was waiting for what magic words were going to come out.
I'm a wizard, Zach. Moving on. Oh, by the way, this song not on the list last year. Neither were literally any of the other two that we talked about. Surprise. Moving on to 264, though.
Wow.
I'm just glad everyone was on the point with that one.
Fuji's remix of Let's Get It.
What? Yeah.
Okay. Number 264. Let's Get It On by
That's the worst pronunciation of that.
Let's Get It On by the Great Mills Lane. No. By Marvin Gaye. Brooklyn, how about you start us off with this one?
This is really cool, and like obviously Marvin Gaye's the king of soul, but this beat gets very repetitive and very old quick. I just wish they would kind of change it up a little bit. It's the soul equivalent of like a three chord song, and what I like about soul is they can still have it can still be different, but not lean into the pop tendencies. This one does lean very much into those pop tendencies, and it's like I think it works. I think it can work like whenever you add in the saxophones, but just that like guitar, bass, and drum kit just repeat, and it gets tedious at times.
Zach,
this is definitely one of those songs that like is so imbued in our culture that it's hard to think about objectively. And I said I prefer Love and Happiness as a sexy R&B song. Then Let's Get It On, but I think just because Let's Get It On has kind of became a parody of itself, just by how much we laughed, that doesn't make it bad. It's still like a great song. I still play it. I love it, and it's like I only think less about it in retrospect, but actively listening to it, it's a perfect experience, and it makes me want to dance. And we talked about, I sent you a clip of commitments, it took a lot of restraint for me not to send you like 5 video clips related to things. I had like all these things because I really wanted to send Jack Black singing "Let's Get It On" because that's also maybe has like increased it. High Fidelity is my favorite movie, and it's a great scene of Jack Black singing it. And it's just how like timeless this song is.
I think Zach hit the nail on the head here when he said that it's kind of become a parody of itself. Like literally any movie or TV show you ever watch where they want to have like this comedic attraction between two characters, you immediately hear wow, 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 wow. And
how dare you disgrace the oh yeah.
That's a better choice. The more movies and TV need to use that song. But I can think of like 3 off the top of my head that do this. But I still think that this song is fantastic. The groove that the bass picks up with this song and the guitar. The guitar actually is the part of the instrumentation that I gravitate to the most because that's got some really good, smooth, groovy licks in there. And I sounded incredibly white in that moment. So we're just going to move on.
You know who doesn't approve of "Let's Get On"? Tommy Lee. He's not having sex with that song. This should be a question for your fans. Which song would you rather have sex to? "Let's Get It On"
which would you rather?
Or "Closer"?
No, "Let's Get It On," "Love and Happiness," or "Closer." Put it down in the comments below. Let us know which song that you tend to pork to the most between the 3.
I'm more of a boink as opposed
or
to
Dolly Parton. I didn't want to spoil another thing. that could be your 4th choice.
Yes, the most boinkable song on this list so far, "Coat of Many Colors" by Dolly Parton. Zach, you start.
I almost bought this record the other day, and I didn't pay enough attention to the cover. Is that a young Dolly? Look at that little cutie. That coat, multiple colors. I like this is not my favorite song in the album. It's like country, especially like 1970s pre-1970s country. When they focus so much on the storytelling, which I understand is an important thing, and that's a great story to tell, I like loses out on some of the melody for me and some of the calming elements. I like it more when we'll talk some other ones. But when it's more just like warm in its sound, which this is not warm, but it's a little countryish. There's a little bit of a kick to it that is not quite my version of Dolly Parton that I would want.
Brooklyn.
So this one would come up quite a bit in the Saturday Night Hoedown rotation. So I have a lot of memories of just kind of singing this with heavy amounts of sarcasm, just kind of waiting for that hour to be over. But then re-listening to it for this list, I was really able to appreciate it. Dolly Parton's trill, I think, works well in this song. Also, really good storyteller. I think it can be like misconstrued. And like I know a lot of the time, like she's kind of looked at as like for her looks and like her plastic surgery. And whatnot, but I think even that is kind of like speaking to like what she's writing about, and like if we're seeing "Coat of Many Colors," we're probably going to see another Dolly Parton song down the road. Like Jolene should be
if
somewhere.
we don't see Jolene on here, I'm gonna riot.
Yeah. But the line that I love in this, it's like, and I told them all a story Mama told me while she sewed, and how my coat of many colors was worth more than all their clothes. So kind of like it shows you the sentimental value, but then they really get into the line of, but they didn't understand it, and I tried to make them see that one is only poor only if they choose to be. So it's just being able to kind of like take in what you have, and my coat of many colors that my mama made for me.
Harlan Howard basically said that good country music is composed of 3 chords and the truth. And that's what I see in this song. This song is very simple. It is incredibly simple instrumentally, but there's so much love and passion behind Dolly's performances and her lyrics that it's just this utterly charming, really delightful pleasant to listen to piece. And I can totally see why so many people have grown so attached to this song. They had like a Lifetime movie or like an ABC Family movie based on this song.
Oh man, they had a Lifetime movie about this.
Either that or ABC, like one of those places. But yeah, it's a delightful song. It's very charming. I give this 5 stars. The movie probably a 2. But I haven't seen it yet.
I'm on the reverse. The movie's a classic.
I did not know that this was a movie.
I didn't either.
Moving on to another guitar-driven piece, American Tune by Paul Simon. I'm surprised that this is the first time we're seeing Paul Simon. I really am. What's that?
Yeah, it's a weird choice of song.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting something from Graceland to pop up. I was expecting, like, You Can Call Me Al or...
Is there no Simon and Garfunkel up to this point either?
No Simon and Garfunkel up to this point either. I'm hoping that they come up later. Like, I hope, like, The Boxer, Bridge Over Troubled Water, something like that. But...
Rank your top 50 Simon and Garfunkel songs now. Go.
I Am a Rock.
Please.
I Am a Rock, number 1.
That's a number 1?
No, not really, but it probably would make my top 10. But those aren't the ones we're talking about. We're talking about American Tune, which I'm happy it's here. I'm happy it's on the list. It's just not the first one that I think of when I think of Paul Simon, but it does have that traditional Paul Simon folksy lusciousness to it, with lyrics that are very detailed and well crafted, and the imagery in it. The imagery in the song is gorgeous. Like the whole part about seeing the Statue of Liberty line in the song is actually really genuine. So it's a very pretty piece. It's probably the most protesty song that Paul Simon's made. I think a lot of people kind of see that folk era as like protest music, but when you think about it, Simon and Garfunkel weren't the biggest protest lyricists. So this is like the closest that either of them have come. Brooklyn.
Again, a lot of Americana in this. Like they talk about like coming on a Mayflower, and like the Statue of Liberty and whatnot. I do like Paul Simon, incredible guitar player. The Boxer is one of my favorite songs ever. But even for like, this isn't this isn't a Paul Simon song I would put in this section. If you want to highlight Paul's guitar playing ability and songwriting, I would actually throw on 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. And then I was like, because as we were talking about it, I was like, wait a minute, Simon and Garfunkel have a song called America, and and I was like, yeah, that song I would probably I would throw on that song because I love the chorus, and that does a really good job.
I'm even thinking Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard.
Oh my gosh, you were just foretelling my joke I was about to say. I said, are you telling me that Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard isn't about immigration policy?
Fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Anyways, I don't have much to say about the song. I found it extremely underwhelming. I think maybe just a little disappointment that like there's so many Paul Simon songs I love, or especially Simon Garfunkel songs I love. Like this is the one I had to talk about. So instead, I'm going to talk about how bad this album cover is. This album cover is a disaster. It looks like a pretentious 15-year-old made this in art class and then got a C- because it had no point or rhythm to it. It's so bad.
You don't like the collage?
It kind of looks like a vision board where it's just like I'm going to.
Yeah. Definitely looks like a vision board. Like I believe in America and like sex parties. That's what the mask is.
It does have the eyes wide shut esque kind of mask.
This album came out in 1973. If it wasn't for this album, Stanley Kubrick wouldn't have gotten the motivation for Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh my god. Okay, moving on before we desecrate Paul Simon any further. Number 261, Pusher Man by Curtis Mayfield. Zach, I do want to tell you that Move On Up was already on the list.
I love moving up too.
Yeah. But what do you think of Pusher Man?
No, Pusher Man rules. I really need to watch Superfly. I haven't because the album has kind of gotten bigger than the movie itself. This is known as one of the best soundtracks ever. And I don't know if Superfly was on the list, but Pusher Man's a better song, anyways. It's just like kind of grimy in a way that I love. It's moving, soul into the '70s and just like into the streets. And Curtis Mayfield, who's Move On Up is pretty smooth, and now he's just like talking about selling drugs and like pushing heroin, and the like rhythm and the funk groove behind it is there to like match. And there's something that just gets my shoulders moving. It was another great Kitchen song. Chris Mayfield, great guy, just great singer. I don't know if he's a good guy; he could be horrible. Great singer.
I've heard good things about Curtis Mayfield. Rest in peace, good sir. His loss was a complete tragedy. But this song, it's so, that groove is so good. It's so tight. And his voice on this, that falsetto that he's using is just so perfect. It's rich, it's dense, but it's also light and smooth and pretty at the same time. It's this weirdly perfect blend. But the thing I really love about this, the thing that I think really does kind of bring this all together, and it's going to sound weird, it's the bongos. The bongos in this song really bring this extra sense to it that I can't explain it, but it really does bring the song together. But that bass line, though, that bass line is tight. Brooklyn.
Yeah, this song is fucking awesome. Anything that's like, have some coke, have some weed. I'm the Pusher Man. For me, it's the guitar and how catchy that one riff is, and how they kind of build off of that. We were talking before the show about this song, and I was like, oh, this is a really cool riff. Like, this is awesome. But then as I realized, I was like, fucking Christina Aguilera ripped off this song with Ain't No Other Man. And I was like, why? I thought that might have been an original, but no, she blatantly ripped off this song.
Oh my god. I haven't thought about that song in forever, but
neither did I until Pusher Man came up.
So that song literally just like samples this song?
Pretty well. It steals the melody, and then yeah.
Holy shit! I'm gonna have to listen to that later. That's wild.
I was gone. What song steals from this?
Ain't No Other Man by Christina Aguilera.
Very similar songs. That's also Christina Aguilera's heroin song. So
moving on to number 260, Get Up, Stand Up by the Wailers. Bob Marley, of course, being the musical genius that I called him the last time that we talked about Bob Marley. But the Wailers also, I think I said, we're also geniuses. And this is a great protest song. Like, this is the one that, like, it digs into your mind and goes, you gotta think, man, but in a good way, in an effective way. It's just the way that the vocalists all play off of each other and they build on top of each other. It's just really, it's an incredible listen. It's one that I don't have too much to say about because it's just a really solid protest song. Brooklyn.
Yeah, no, this is really freaking cool, and I think why this protest song works is the delivery of the lyrics. They're kind of like he's not throwing a lot of emotion into it. Kind of monotone in it, like letting the lyrics themselves kind of speak out. But it also keeps keeps the same sort of catchy nuances that you get in reggae. And like it's very easy to sing along. Like get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. You know, like that you could be chanting that down the street and it still holds up.
And Zach.
It's a big reggae section, and like 20 songs is like 3 reggae songs. I know you guys ended with Pressure Drop. And last time, which I adore that song.
Me too. I'm listening to it
anyways,
right now.
I like it's more recently that I'm having like finding more appreciation for the like protest aspect of Bob Marley songs. I feel like probably as a kid, you listen to like 3 Little Birds and There's This Love a lot, and I have more like nostalgia for his more romantic songs. Like Is This Love was I consider one of my favorite songs for a while. But like now I'm like playing this today and I'm just like it makes me like feel the urge to like do something. It has the sense of action that you want from the this kind of protest song. And you talked about the overlapping vocals and why I think that's also other than aesthetically I'm like such a sucker for it. I love overlapping like vocals and things going over each other. But even as a protest song, it like creates the more sense of community of like we're all in the fight together. It's all these people having a voice and being part of it rather than like Bob Marley being alone. Just a sense of we're all going at this together.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. It's that sense of togetherness that this song has. But yeah, so moving on to number 259, "Heart of Gold" by Neil Young. Let's have Zach. Let's have Zach bring this up as he crosses himself.
I just RIP'd my ability to listen to Neil Young. This is my thing. As a obsessive playlist maker, and I make top 100s of all years. I made it up to 1973, which is like a lot of Neil Young and a lot of Joni Mitchell. And like, sure, you're putting up a good fight, but you're also fucking up my playlists. And then you just I put so much, like months and months and months into like 1 year. Like you cannot destroy this. Heart of Gold, rest in peace. They're not on my playlist anymore. Luckily, I do have this on vinyl. Anyways, so I can still listen to it. It just messed up my list because Neil Young. I think there's many levels of him, but when he goes romantic, it's the best. Even if it's not necessarily romantic, there's like a romantic just vibe to it. It's very lovely in its melody. And this is, people talking like in movies sometimes saying this person sounds so bad, and it's like Neil Young sounds bad, Bob Dylan sounds bad. It's not about like the technicality of your voice, but like how do you use that voice to tell the story you're saying. It's the emotion and using it in an aesthetically matching way. Neil Young's really is like the best of that. Heart of Gold is easily one of his best songs. It belongs here. It will be timeless, even though no one can listen to it ever again.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, no, this song is great. It's in my set list for like acoustic gigs and whatnot. I love the harmonica in it and how it uses the start of that melody as kind of like a motif, and then the second half of like every harmonica part is where he gets to accentuate and kind of change it up and whatnot. The ending of it is really cool. Like keep me searching for a heart of gold, keep me searching and I'm growing old. I've been a miner for a heart of gold, and just
keep like, going. 3.5 minutes recite all the lyrics.
Yeah. Have you been to Hollywood?
I've been to Redwood. I've crossed the ocean for a heart of gold. I've been in my mind in such a fine wine. But yeah, no, it's cool. This isn't. There's if Heart of Gold is here, we'll probably have. We should probably see Old Man, and I think that might be it for Neil Young.
Yeah, because I think this is what the third time we've talked about Neil Young now.
Yeah, there was the one. Nash. There was the one that Curry didn't like, and then there was the one with Dark Horse.
Yeah, Powderfinger and After the Gold Rush, I think.
Yes.
What's that?
It's After Gold Rush, what a great one. There'll probably be no Cortez the Killer, but that's my favorite.
It's Cowgirl in the Sand for me.
Is that a sex position? Is that a fuck song?
Oh no, that's no Cowgirl in the Sand. Whenever Neil Young had. No, Cowgirl in the Sand is whenever he's written whenever Neil Young had the flu.
Oh,
I will tell you, after Harvest Moon, Neil Young definitely got laid.
But I have said multiple times on this show, Neil Young is such a hit and miss artist with me because it especially comes down to his voice. And this is arguably my favorite Neil Young song. I love this song because this is where his voice actually really benefits. Where the song benefits from his voice because there's such a he sounds so tired and weary, and he's been searching for this heart of gold for so long. It's like he's been on this giant, like, 10-year expedition searching for this thing. And I think it really, really works with the lyrics incredibly well. The strength of this song is Neil Young's performance, and it's something that I don't get to say often enough. But yeah, this is my favorite Neil Young song, probably. I Old Man's up there, but I think this is my choice. So I'm happy to see it here. 259. Yeah, it's an okay spot for it. Last time, however, it was 303. So it's increasing. Good to know.
Man, where speaking of 303, where the fuck have they been on this list? My first kiss went a little like this.
Revolution will not be televised.
Especially if 303 keeps playing.
Your Beverly Hillbillies and your Green Acres. Revolution will not be televised. I don't know the words. That's close. They definitely say it.
Yeah, but Gil Scott-Heron appears on this list again. Scott. I mean, not Scott. Jeez, Gil Scott. Zach, what are your thoughts?
I love the vibe of a Gil Scott-Heron. Do really poems rather than songs because they're definitely like read your poems in a jazz club. It's like there's a lot of bongos in this music, but I just love the like flute hanging through the background, and it really creates a propulsion as well as his delivery has so much energy and momentum moving it forward. And you can say some lyrics get a little time because they're so based in the 70s and 60s of where commercialism was, but the point does not get lost. It's still like our media cycle, what do we focus on, what do we not focus on, who are we not serving, and what we adapt to as a culture. It's very strongly put. It's amazing that he can make such sharp-edged poetry into a song that gets appreciated in the pop world for so long. Gil Scott-Heron had a troubled life. He was imprisoned for many, many years, and he came back and made another great album. So it's a really interesting story that everyone should invest more time into knowing about Gil Scott-Heron.
Yeah, I love this piece. It's okay. So this is weird because it's not really a song as much as it is a spoken word jazz piece, but I love spoken word jazz.
Sing on occasion now. It's like catches you off guard. All of a sudden there'll be a song that he's like singing.
Oh, absolutely. But there's such a I don't want to say a revolutionary power behind his voice, but there kind of is. This dude wrote this when he was 19. He wrote this when he was 19. When I was 19, I was working on my history of theater project and trying to figure out how to date Adrian Steinauer.
Dropping names? It's embarrassing. Oh.
Shut up, Zach.
No. Sorry. About this song. I think you guys were talking about like the spoken word one on kind of like how unique it is. Public Enemy took a lot of influence from this, and in particular, Bring the Noise. Whenever Flavor Flav is like, we're gonna be Public Enemy in Chicago and whatnot. I think that came up earlier in the list, I believe. But you were talking about dumb things when we were 19. On my 19th birthday, I did not understand the concept of like a tab or going up to a bar multiple times to get drinks. So I ordered 6 whiskey ginger ales at one time, and I ordered them expecting them to be like, oh, they're just gonna bring these out to me like one at a time, and they did that for the first 2, and they're like, here's the other 4.
I do want to bring up some of these lyrics though, because it's so great. Like for people who don't know, this song is about how advertising was like at the time was mainly pushed towards white people, and like some of these lyrics are so great. So I want to bring up this one. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of hairy armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. Like just the imagery in that is so great. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will
get
not
to the
be
Green
televised.
Acres line. The Green Acres line. I don't know.
Where is that Green Acres line? I'll bring it. Beverly Hillbillies, or there was like some other weird thing that he brings up that like I don't think anyone would know about today, but I can't find it right now, and that's just going to cause dead air. But yeah, it's just really smart, really powerful, really enlightening, and just all around absolutely influential. I love this piece so much. I'm glad it's here. It wasn't on the list last time though, so we're improving. Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, Heat Wave. I'm going to start this one because I've talked openly a lot about my love for Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. Yeah, the song's freaking dope. It's so good. It's the pocket that they find to put the melody in. It's so great, and the horns in this. It's just so. It has a good warmth to it, to put it in a almost kind of pun way, but a non-intended one. And Martha Reeves is just one of the greatest vocalists of the '60s. Like, oh my god, I love her. Zach.
As we look at this album, which I've listened to before, and some of the songs they sang are wild. They sang Dankeschön and If I Had a Hammer, like classic folk song, If I Had a Hammer. They also just listened to your Paul Mary's version today, which is great. But it's just like some weird white guys picking songs for Martha Reeves and the Vandellas.
But she still kills it.
Yeah, I mean, they rule. The song just inherently is like a little cheesy in the way that early 1960s songs sometimes can, as far as the melodies are very straightforward, but the delivery is still great and it's still like enjoyable. But it's so, I think, dated. It's stuck in the time of pop that it was.
Brooklyn.
This song is really cool. But what happens a lot is like the I hear the intro, and part of me just wants to sing, just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring ding ding-a-ling too.
That's probably why I view some of these as kind of cheesy, because they sound like the what's his face?
They sound like that Wall of Sound
Christmas
songs. Yeah.
That kind of Perry Como, Andy Williams-esque kind of sound, Zach.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to number 256 then. With that, we're going to move something completely different. Master of Puppets by Metallica. Brooklyn, I know you're a big Metallica fan, so why don't we have you start?
I used to hate this song with a fiery passion. And for me, it was that one offbeat that they have in the main riff. But if there's anything that Metallica is great at, and they show off in this song, is the down strum and the riff. The riff, like the riff in this is incredible. He's just like, if I can kind of demonstrate it, what he's doing is just hitting the E string and constantly strumming it, but hitting different notes off of that. So while you're hitting the various notes in the scale, you're always going back to that root note and whatnot. But to an untrained ear, like did it, like when you get to that, like did it, it's kind of jarring, but once you get used to it, it makes sense. What has kind of killed this song though is that on like Clone Hero or like in Twitch in general, like Guitar Hero is still being very much streamed and whatnot, but this is one of the songs that they try to do faster and faster and faster. I think they're up to like 260% speed sped up. So a lot of times when I think about this song, I just used to hearing like master. But yeah, I'll try to figure out how fast they are up to at this point. But
someone make a clip of that and gift that, please. I think the song is just super smart. I think the song is just a super smart way of talking about addiction, the highs and lows of like your swings are really well represented by the instrumentation here, by going from like that chugging riff into that almost dirge-like cadence in the middle, and then just going back into that chugging sound. And just it's a really smart piece about drug addiction, and yeah, it's probably one of Metallica's best. I'm not like the biggest Metallica fan, but I have a deep-rooted appreciation for them, and songs like this are why. Zach.
I'm glad you think it's such a smart piece, because I just heard them say the word master a lot. Disagree, Matt? Sure. I like some things are just not going to be for you in metal, even though it's not like the hardest of metal. It's just not going to be my thing. Like Black Sabbath is as metal as I can get, and you go any harder than that, it's just too much for me. And anyone who says like to be a true music fan, like you need to be willing to listen to all genres is some real bullshit. Being into all genres is like you can't be into all genres, like you can't be into every kink. Like it's just unsafe to think that everything is for you at some point.
All right. Well, I'm one of those people who say that, Zach, so thanks a lot. Number 255. Speaking of listening to a whole bunch of different genres, Loretta Lynn's Coal Miner's Daughter, country as you can get. Zach, what do you think?
I think it's just like less country than like the Dolly Parton song, but just gonna find this like a little lovelier, and it's a lot warmer, and then they're both like about their childhoods and growing up in a way that's nostalgic and beautiful. But for some reason, I just attach myself to. I think her voice is a little more lush. I don't want to, bash on Dolly Parton's voice. It's a legend, but Loretta Lynn is a little more full in her voice in a way that can bring me in and engage me a little stronger. It's a great song, but I have nothing too deep to say.
Brooklyn.
I haven't taken a deep dive in that's a really hard name to say for me.
Go 5 times fast.
Lynn.
Loretta Lynn.
You're kicked off the
show. All right, thanks. All right. So,
no, I think what I like about bluegrass, and this song does a really good job of it, is in bluegrass in general, there's no like percussion or anything, so it's often leaned on towards like the bass or like a rhythm guitar or anything. But in this song, it's the banjo that's controlling it, and ultimately when they're controlling the tempo, it really speaks to like the tone and the style, and just like the plucky kind of twanginess of that mixed with her subtle, almost like marble-like quality of voice is great. Also, what this song does really well that other bluegrass songs can tend to just like overthink, or underthink, maybe even rather, is the key change. The key change in this is really effective and makes things sound fresh.
Yeah, so I'm loving the amount of country that's suddenly kind of popping up on this list. Having looked at the previous version of this list, country was kind of barely on there. It was there, but not really. And now we've already had 2 in this one section. And this is a standard. This is absolutely a country standard. But it's kind of that beautiful mix of that sort of like showmanship sound that country had in the 70s, and starts to get into like the lyric driven side that the 80s and kind of the 90s would kind of follow. But yeah, I talked about the pocket that Martha Reeves found on Heatwave. The pocket that Loretta Lynn finds on this song to carry the melody through the instrumentation is incredible. Like the control that she has on this song is amazing, and her voice is just so rich and dense. But yeah, no, this song was 1970. Why do I think this song was later?
Gosh,
I have my
in front of you, bar.
Not anymore.
Just
It's not.
read the script.
I don't know how to read. So, moving on. There I am. Moving on to number 254, Stop in the Name of Love by the Supremes. Not much to say about this song other than it's the Supremes. Like, they're one of the greatest groups of all time. And there's just like a loose creativeness to a lot of their songs that are just so interesting and unique, especially for, songs of that time period. They always have like this one little gimmick that's really subtle, but it just keeps the song really interesting. And that's exactly what this is. Because the moment you go, stop in the name of love, it's just kind of like this cheesy, charming thing, but I absolutely love it. Zach.
Supremes are not like my favorite girl group. I Diana Ross's voice might just not be for me. It might be a little too thin for what I like or want from soul music. But this is, I think, truly hurt by what I was saying earlier. There's like songs that just exist so much, like in the culture that I can't even view as a song by itself. Like I have said the phrase "stop in the name of love" probably 100 times more than I've actually heard the song. That I just like that line in that line reading just is kind of a joke of itself. Someone says something to say "stop in the name of love," and then you don't even remember how the rest of the song goes. So because that phrase so exists purely in the zenith, I think it just gets a little hurt by that. Like I can't even think of it as a song.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'll kind of echo what you guys have said. The Supremes have had other songs that I think are a little bit better and don't get as stale. I often go back to the meme when someone's asked me to stop. I don't know if it's in the name of love, to collaborate and listen, or there was a third option, but a lot of it's like
Hammer
stop
time?
and then throw them. Yeah, stop hammer time. But yeah, what was the thing that I was going to say about this? I forget.
That it's amazing.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
All right. Fun fact: this wasn't even on the list last time.
I thought it was higher.
You would think, but like looking through this, there's like a bunch of other Supreme songs that were on the list before, but not this one, which you would think that this one would have been one of the ones that was included automatically. But one that I did find on the previous list that's here is Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain by Willie Nelson. More country, more outlaw country this time. It's a simple 3 chords in the truth. 3 chords in the truth. That's what carries this song.
For saying that.
Should I?
No, I should get fired for being an asshole. Goodbye.
Okay, bye. All right, it's the Andrew and Brooklyn show.
Hey!
Yay! No, okay, let's let Zach talk about this song.
This is a pretty lovely song. This is what I want. Like I say, I can't go with things where they get too hard, but nothing can just get like too soft and ready to like put me down to sleep and for a nap. I just love songs that are just like lulling it, and I call it like deep breaths of a song. They just help me take a deep breath, like taking the world around me. And this song I think just has that mood and tempo to it. And I've never been a really Nelson person at all. I just like Drake. He's a country version of Drake that sometimes I find his delivery just so monotone and boring. Right. But this song hit me. Hey, this song though, really caught my soul, and maybe I never gave Willie Nelson much of a chance.
Okay, I'll let you stay on for now. But as I was saying, 3 chords in the truth. That's the bare minimum you need to make a great country song, and that's what this is. There's just a sincerity to this, which is absolutely beautiful, especially Willie Nelson's performance of this song. Just the way that he performs the song. It just speaks to your soul. Like it really is. It's almost as if like you're you're talking to your friend and he's just like really sad. And you feel for him. You really do. It's a beautiful song. Brooklyn.
It's beautiful, but it's not his best. And you're talking about like three chords and the truth. It's obviously like an homage, like an homage, and I guess in a callback, I guess to what country was kind of built upon, and I think that was done better in that time frame. When I think of Willie Nelson, I immediately we're talking about the hoedown last time, or the hoedown earlier. But one of the songs that played on there all the time was Willie Nelson and Ray Charles duet of Seven Spanish Angels. And I think of that as like a really nice and beautiful song. Also, we haven't seen On the Road Again, and that's like, man, what a great upbeat, happy song. Like you can't be sad listening to that.
That's true. That or Moving Right Along. Either one of those. I'd be happy to see those. Moving right along, to number 252, Flashlight by Parliament Funkadelic. Zach's having a good time, so I'm going to let Zach go first.
Oh, it's just like it goes in my head immediately, and it's like the dumbest ass like lyric and words, Flashlight, but it just like pumps me up. This is like funk at its best. It is just like grimy, groovy, and dirty, and they're saying like silly phrases that don't mean anything. And I love it. It's one of those like immediately I just want to dance, and it's like he's so specific in its sound. Nick, no one sounds like P-Funk. George Clinton, he's a legend, and it's amazing that they were able to make this like spacey, weird ass shit like mainstream and popular and beloved. But yeah, Flashlight, it's just an ultimate fun song, and just saying the phrase, like music, go flashlight.
Brooklyn, I'm gonna let you go next. I gotta grab something. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, this song is fucking unreal. They were talking about how disco is kind of taken over, and this is one of the inspirations. If there's anything that I've kind of loved about this list is being able to explore like the best of funk and what like a lot of overlooked songs that kind of shaped this, as well as hip hop. I'm trying to think of I'm trying to remember the instruments in particular that work really well on this. But it, like, I guess it'd be like the synth. This is 77, so it's pretty early to go into like that. That's sorry, gotta pause you for a second. There, that's why. But yeah, it's funky enough, and just out there enough where it was like we got to try and mimic this sound as opposed to like create something new.
I'm really sad because the Parliament Funkadelic style classics I had are in my coat pocket, which is downstairs.
Oh no!
Yeah, I was so prepared for this moment, and then I'm just sad. But yeah, no, this song is great. This song is dope. It's like what, 5.5 minutes or something like that, but it breezes by. It is a great funk piece. It is just tight and groovy. Bootsy Collins and George Clinton are fucking killing it. And that choir just sounds amazing. Even especially at the end when it's just them on kind of a loop, they still sound amazing, and it's just them. Yeah, this song is dope.
I can do 10 minutes of them just going, oh, ba dee ba doo ba da ba.
I just want 10 minutes of Zack doing that.
Real quick,
also mentioned,
just because you're both trivia lovers, and just some trivia bullshit. Bar trivia last night, Geeks Who Drink. I'm calling you fuckers out. There's a question about George Clinton, something. We wrote Parliament as our answer. It was marked wrong because the only correct answer is Parliament Funkadelic, which is not their fucking name. And somehow 70% of people got it right because they fucking Googled some shit because no one's writing Parliament Funkadelic.
No,
because we're also doing it on our phones.
Also, knowing what we know now, I'm not sure if this is my favorite Bootsy Collins song.
Oh, okay, fair enough. It is marked
because we weren't winning.
I mean, it is marked Parliament here and on the album cover, so
They're like just separate parts of their era, but it's not ever combined as Parliament Funkadelic.
no, I'm trying to stick up for you, Zach. All right, let's.
Right,
but you know what?
Give me a free beer glass. I don't know.
You know what, Zach? Even with the you stabbing me in the back like that, I will survive. Which is number 251 by Gloria Gaynor. I get it.
First, because I've been unreasonably hostile to you the whole show, which is kind of my podcast vibe. So I really was just prepping you for this joke at the end to say I will survive.
Thank you. Look, we had Cody on. We've had more hostile people. So I'll start with this one though. This is one of the greatest disco songs ever made. Like, this is gonna sound really weird, but me and my bros went out for
weird at the start.
Told you.
Do you mean actual brothers?
No.
Oh God,
I don't mean actual brothers. Me and my bros went out for a few drinks, and for some reason, we were just starting to goof around, and one of us, I don't remember who, just very bluntly and flatly said, well, once I was afraid, I was petrified. And then we just kept going. We talked through the entire lyrics of this song. And we're three guys just throwing down beers and having a few yucks for that to happen between us for this song. That just proves that this song has incredible staying power. Gloria Gaynor sounds amazing on this. The beautiful piano flourish to lead you in. It's almost got this theatricality to it, which is just so engaging and really electric. This song, it's tight, it's groovy, it's fantastic. Brooklyn.
This one kind of got overplayed. For some reason, I don't know if it's like headcanon or the Mandela effect. I feel like Crazy Frog covered this, and that's why I think it's overplayed. But what I do like about this song and the violin, the strings are fucking awesome. And then when it go into that instrumental, it's like da 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 skilly dilly do 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 dilly dilly do do. It's just really quick, and what I love about soul, especially around that time, and you would see it a lot with like Stevie Wonder, is these like big like unison kind of solos, but very technically proficient. I think this. I don't know how I feel about Gloria Gaynor as a disco artist in general. I probably lean more towards Donna Summers. I think she just has a little more attitude. But yeah.
And Zach.
Overplayed is like the general term to use as the issue I've been describing, as where it's like too part of a culture. Like, I'm not sure this is even a song anymore. It's just not like a demon that like haunts our world. Like, this is just like, it's I Will Survive. It's its own thing that I can't like compare to other music. And like, because also we talked about things becoming a parody of ourselves. Like, this thing became just kind of such a joke, and like not overplayed, just over like referenced and used, and like everyone knows it. It just like some songs are just part of the canon. It's just it takes it out of objective conversation. And so like
we were talking about wedding songs.
I don't know. It's I Will Survive. It's like it's its own thing.
It's
we
the
were talking about wedding songs earlier. I think I've seen so many drunk like 40-year-old women being like marching up to the song like I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'm still alive.
Yeah, it's a great song for people whose last CD they bought was in the 80s because they don't listen to fucking music.
Zack was probably, if Zack was around back then, he probably would have been part of that Disco Sucks demolition night.
No, I mean, in retrospect, that was like a real misogynist, racist, horrible time. So I'm going to say I would not be part of that. I also extremely, extremely pro Bee Gees. So
Zack was there in spirit then. So, but with that ends this section of the list. There we go. That ends this section of the list. So with that being said, I'm going to ask everyone on the panel if you could pick one of these songs that we talked about to automatically put into the top 100, what would it be? And Brooklyn, I will say this before we start. You are right. One of these songs that we talked about is in my top 100, maybe even my top 50. But let's start with Zack.
I gave it away. Mine is Sail Away. It's the top 5 song for me of all time. Randy Newman should have 30 songs in the top 100, even if they're not good, just to honor the man.
He should have every song that he wrote for Monsters, Inc. in here.
Yeah. Should have a song about Putin. So it was like, Putin. It was like a couple years ago.
I need to find that. Brooklyn.
Some contenders for this one. Heart of Gold. Flashlight was there for a while. The Boys Back in Town was favorite for a while. But I'm going to go with. I'm also going to go with my choice for you for the song that I think is in your top 50. Going with Love and Happiness. That's the one that I locked in.
Good pick. Good pick.
Yeah? Did I get it right?
Unfortunately, you did not.
No! I was so confident.
Honestly, though, it's getting close. It's getting really close.
Like,
it's
a very Andrew song. Like it has the bass, it has the keys, it has the backing vocals, has the horns.
This is gonna surprise you. Even though once again, having listened to Love and Happiness again more recently, it's pretty much there now. But the song that is in this section of the list that I would put higher, I kind of downplayed in this episode. One of my favorite songs of all times is A Whiter Shade of Pale by Boko Haram. I fucking love that song. Just the soundscape of it is absolutely incredible. Just the dynamics. I feel like
you're dissing it. I feel like Beethoven did it first.
Just listen to Beethoven, you classic.
It's Bach, motherfuckers.
Whatever.
But
I couldn't remember which one Zack said earlier. He was like Beethoven. I'm like, all right, let's go with this.
But yeah, A Whiter Shade of Pale is one of my all-time favorite songs. I fucking love that song to death. Love and Happiness actually may have just cracked my top 100, though. I'm not going to lie. That song is fucking amazing. Nice. But with that, thank you so much for coming on, Zack. You had the Lucas and Zack podcast for a while. For anyone who wants to listen to that, it is still available on iTunes and online.
90 episodes. Go at it.
Yeah, exactly. I do highly recommend it, though. It was a great podcast. I loved being a part of it and being on and listening to it as well. But Brooklyn, we did
Lucas and Zack. Oh, yeah. No, I was just gonna say the unofficial Lucas and Zack podcast mugs are in the conversation of top 10 most satisfying looking coffee mugs. The way the logo fits on the mug, very great. But yeah, we are in the home stretch. Like we're cracking into 250, and like each time this list gets more difficult every time. Because whenever I go through the section and you say at the start of the show, yeah, we'll try and be like an hour and a half, and I'm like, how the fuck are we gonna do this? Because the quality gets better and better.
Absolutely. I mean, we're getting into the top half. We are halfway there. Whoa, lemon and a pear. But yeah, so for that, Brooklyn's gonna play us out, as I say, for Zack Ford, for Brooklyn Vale, and for myself. Keep on rocking.
Whoa, we're halfway there.
Whoa, lemon on a pear.